I am Right Honorable Gboyega Aribisogan, the newly elected Speaker of Ekiti State House of Assembly. I addressed you this morning over the new development as it affects the crisis in Ekiti State House of Assembly. Just about a few hours ago, around 4:30 a.m., I was called by some of our members that 7 out of the 25 members of the Assembly had been taken to the House of Assembly by the Nigerian police to institute an impeachment process illegally so as to create crisis in Ekiti State. And I want to say that as I speak, the 7 members are in the chamber of the State House of Assembly. They have also gone ahead to kidnap the clerk of the House and the sergeant at arms by one Super Marcos, who led the team of some police officers to the Assembly this morning around 5:30 a.m. And they are there since 5:30 a.m. conducting that illegal impeachment. We are only saying that democracy should be allowed, to thrive in Ekiti State. We contested, the two of us contested for the seat. I scored 15, my opponent scored 10. I won and I was duly sworn in by the Ekiti State House of Assembly. We held our parliamentary and all things were normal and peaceful before the occupation of the State House of Assembly by the Nigerian police. We have tried as much as possible to dissuade the police from carrying out this dastardly act, but the Commissioner of Police, Ekiti, has insisted that he had an order from former Governor Fayemi to flush out any member or any staff of Ekiti State House of Assembly that there enters the place. I'm telling the whole world now that Ekiti State needs to be rescued democratically from former Governor Fayemi and his cohort. And let me say this, they had planned assassination, they had planned thuggery and violence just to make sure that they destabilize the current administration of Governor Abiodun Oyebanji. But some of us have elected to stand out, to talk, and to say that enough of this domination and oppression, enough of this intimidation and the kind of dictatorship being operated by former Governor Fayemi. He had left office. He does not have any power to come and tell us who should be the Speaker of the State House of Assembly. I'm telling every prominent Ekiti to rise up to this occasion, to make sure that Ekiti is not thrown into avoidable crisis. Ekiti is not burned down just because one man wanted the desire to continue to operate in Ekiti State. We are calling on all leaders of APC, both at the local, state, and national level, to rise to the occasion and come and rescue Ekiti State from the hands of Fayemi and his cohort. Presently, a team of hit squad, led by one Dele Olugbemi, who was also a former House of Assembly Speaker, is prowling the city of Ado Ekiti now, looking for those of us, the 15 members that had voted for me. And they said they must be chased out of the communities, wherever they find them, and that they should be chased out of Ekiti State. They have even planned to assassinate me as I'm going back now. But I'm not dissuaded. I'm going back to Ekiti State now to see whether they will carry out that dastardly act. And I'm telling you, Nigerian press, that you should be on guard because democracy is at trial. It's on trial in Ekiti State as I speak. If the 7 members can be allowed by the Nigerian police, who had earlier said that they were only protecting the assembly complex, only to come and open for them, it shows clearly where the matter is coming from. And we will not sit and allow Ekiti to be thrown into confusion. We are saying this, and we have called on all prominent Ekiti indigents, including Chief Abibalola, Femfala Nasan, Woleola Npeku, and all the clerics in Ekiti State, particularly Bishop Ajakaye, who happens to be one of our leaders in Ekiti State, to come to our rescue. We must not die. We must live. And at the same time, Ekiti must progress. They have sandwiched Governor Abiodun Oyebanji. They didn't want him to talk. They didn't want him to do anything. They have dissuaded him from even appointing a chief of staff. All the appointment made so far has been forced on him by this same Governor Fayemi. Please, I want you to be on guard and safeguard democracy in Nigeria. That is just what I want to say. As I'm going to Ekiti now, I want to see whether they will continue to harass and intimidate me, and I will continue to brief you. Thank you very much.
Specifically speaking, what do you think is their
Well, their grounds is that they called us to a meeting, all 25 members, after the death of our late speaker, and they issued a directive that we should go and vote Honorable Adeluba. At the meeting, I stood up. I said, we have a constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and we have the standing order, that we cannot just go ahead and do that without consulting the constituency, at the same time looking at the constitution. Governor Fayemi stood up that day and was saying that whatever I mean by constitution or standing order, that he has given his order, and that if anything untoward happens, then it will get back at me. And I said, well, Mr. Governor, you are no longer the governor, but let us do it the way it should be done. That was the crisis. Because we went through that democratic way or process of electing a new speaker, it has become a headache for him. And that is why this is happening. If anybody is saying anything contrary, I've never offended him. I served him for 4 years, and I was loyal to him to the end as the majority leader of the House of Assembly. If by going to an election, and I won that election, is now the problem. I wonder why he called himself a Democrat. I wonder why he has been pretending to say that he loves democracy. Because what has happened on the floor of the House on 15th of November was a clear case of democratic process, which was beamed live, and everything was done, openly, without any hitches. And members were not. For them now to come and be quasi-members, to go and institute an illegal impeachment, I think Ekiti State needs to be rescued from him. And I'm calling on all Ekiti people to move to the House of Assembly now, as they are there, to see what they are doing and perhaps take their own decision. Thank you very much. Yes, I've called the CP, Morel Keji. I was there live with him, and I told him the illegality they wanted to embark upon. But he has continued to tell me that they only wanted to protect the assembly complex, knowing fully that some people have planted bombs. Those who have planted bombs are now the same people who are in the chamber trying to impeach a speaker that was elected by 15 members out of 25. See, to intervene in the matter. As I speak now, I'm about going to the IG to seek protection for all our members they have been harassing since night. Governor Fayemi has been calling, former Governor Fayemi has been calling all our members. In fact, he called Honorable Olatuji, he called Honorable Harubu, he called Honorable Tude Idowu, he called Honorable Fayemi Akindele, who are my supporters, and they have been harassed and been intimidated. Some of them have been picked up as I speak, and they are saying they are taking them to the House of Assembly. Whatever happens, Fayemi should be held responsible. If I'm killed, Fayemi should be held responsible. If anything happens to any of our members, Fayemi should be held responsible. And I'm out to tell the whole world that we have served him, except that he wants to destroy himself. That is the only way. That is the only way to go. If he continues in this light, some of us who have been very, very loyal to him will tell him that he has done the wrong thing. Thank you.